The Nick three there to tie it, I think, with at 104, 104, the 2.5 minutes left. I know you haven't seen any of the film, but what stuck out to you most on those final possessions for you guys against this Magic defense?
I thought number one, the way we competed for most of that game felt like more like us. I thought on both ends of the court, defensively especially, like the togetherness, the activity, the communication for larger portions of the game was there. We talked pregame about feeling like the defense hasn't been as solid lately, but I thought that like the guys were phenomenal tonight on that side of the floor. Obviously, a couple transition buckets there that you wish you communicated a little bit better with, or a couple fouls that I wish we would show our hands better and not put ourselves in those situations. But offensively, the ball was moving. I thought they did a really good job of trusting the pass throughout the game. 26 assists on 37 made field goals. It's Melo, it's Miles, it's Nurk in the post kicking out. So that was beautiful to see. And like Nick ends up with a great shot, like you said, to tie the game. And to me, the last couple possessions, came down to an offensive rebound by Black, put back dunk, and like one of those fouls on Banchero when he goes to spin or he's going into an ISO move versus Miles and Nick Smith, kind of stand out to me. And so again, two of those things were reared their heads at other portion of the game, and then obviously it just kind of stung us at a crucial moment.
Talk about trusting the pass. When they double Melo top of the key or blitz him on one of those screens, you have to give it to the low man. He has to make the decision where he wants to pass it. I think that led to the Nick Smith Jr. three to tie it at 104. What are you telling the team and also Melo being able to trust his teammates to make that next pass to lead to the eventual shot?
Yeah, number one with Melo, it's not only trust, but it's also just understanding like what is their coverage and what's the pace that I have to come off in this pick and roll. If they're in center field, you could probably come off with a little bit more pace. You're thinking downhill because most likely they're going over versus Melo, and then you just got to make a rim read. I think that when they're up, they're committing two to the ball in some type of blitz. You got to be able to have a little bit of like a hostage dribble to kind of just slow the defense to give yourself a good look. And as tall as he is, as smart as he is, he's able to make the right play, whether it's to the seam or whether it's to the guy on the weak side. And then telling the guys that are playing off the ball, get to your spacing. If we can execute and get to our spacing, hold spacing, or read their shifts appropriately, and then let it fly when you get it. And I think that kind of all those things were clicking tonight for most of the game.
Nick Smith Jr. has been getting a lot of reps recently. What do you feel like are the biggest areas you've seen him improve just over the last several months?
Oh man, so many areas of growth. Like I've been so happy with Nick. Defensively, I've noticed a little bit more attention to detail. I think that he's always moving and like has great energy and effort, and I just feel like the attention to detail and the purpose behind his movements now has been a little bit more deliberate or intentional, understanding who he's guarding or what we want to take away. So proud of him for that, and he continues to kind of just want to get better in that area. And then I think offensively, we've all seen how much he can score the ball. I've been really impressed lately him simplifying, like less dribbles and like way more catch and shoot threes, getting to his spacing, being having better early shot prep to put him in a good position to be able to let it fly. So and then passing, like I think he had a couple of really great assists tonight to set up either a direct bucket or an indirect hockey assist. And so like just a ton of growth from him, and I think all these reps are very valuable for him.
LaMelo picked up four early fouls, got the fifth in the third quarter. What were the conversations like with him, the decision to bring him back in the start of the fourth quarter, and then what you got from KJ Smith or KJ Simpson in the interim?
Yeah, first things with Melo is obviously letting him know how many fouls he has, and in those situations, just trying to communicate what is your foul situation, how can we do a good job now of you still competing and showing your hands. And I think that when he's such a dynamic player, for us, that if we can get him to be able to play with foul trouble, it helps us. Obviously, how much he creates and stuff. So it's a good learning opportunity for him to understand. I still have to be able to get open without committing an offensive foul. I still got to run the ATO and set a solid screen. I still got to guard and keep this guy in front of me. So I think it's just really valuable reps because you down the road as you keep building and winning. Like when you're in the playoffs, you want that guy out there when it's money time. And so he's got to learn sometimes how to play with fouls. And I think that he's done a better job of it at certain spots throughout the year.
Mention.
Oh, I'm sorry, and KJ. No, go ahead. Slow your roll. KJ, I thought in his first stint they pressured him a lot. Took us out of like a little bit of a rhythm, took him out of a rhythm, talked to him when he came out, challenged him a little bit more, and I thought that he responded really well in that second stint. Obviously, his defensive pressure and activity was really good on Black and Harris and all the guys he was guarding. And then I thought offensively, like he was just a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive, less hesitant in anything he was doing. And when he's decisive, he's a heck of a player. And I just think that I just need him to always be thinking that he's a heck of a player. And he definitely belongs out there.
You mentioned playoffs and obviously how these games, I guess, will maybe help you guys in the future. For you yourself, this is the first, for you, a couple years in a row, you had the playoffs, with obviously Milwaukee and Boston. To not get there as a team this year, just, I guess, disappointment, how do you characterize how you guys feel, and then how do you make sure that whatever you're feeling, it fuels you to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I would say definitely no disappointment. Coming into the year, the goal for us was to create a standard of competitiveness, create an environment of just work and obsession with daily improvement, practice days, weight room sessions, our diets, game days, all of it. Just loving the whole journey. And the third part was like building an environment of togetherness and a culture of togetherness, because we go through this journey together. We're going to compete together. We're going to be getting better and growing together. So, I think that all those goals are still in motion, and happy as hell with them. And I think that they're all going to take us a long way as we continue to build. Yeah, well, especially with Josh too, just being mindful of his first game back and where he was, and exposure to game reps at this type of intensity was important to us. And then I just also think Tijon, took a couple charges tonight, helped us move the ball offensively, made some good decisions. And so when you can come out and play in a tie game versus a playoff contender team, I thought that he did enough to earn more reps at that moment too. And it was good for him. Part of growth is sometimes having some moments of what most would call failure. But the fact that he ain't afraid of that, and he drove that ball with a force and physicality, and I think next time he's dunking on that dude. And so I just love everything that he's gaining from all of his valuable reps, and then his approach to it too. I know he's going to be so much better.